70.
Here's the step back for a new Maverick record! They are seeing a night they will never forget, that we will never forget.
The NBA just left us all speechless.
I mean, this is the peak of basketball in my opinion.
This week in the NBA was glorious. What a time to be alive. A lot just happened, so grab your popcorn and let's enjoy this feast of basketball genius. Chapter 1. Last Saturday, a clash of the Titans. On Saturday, we saw the mesmerizing, the clutch, and the downright unbelievable, starting with the collapse in Minnesota. When the best team in the West clashed with the second best team in the West, we had a showdown of the conference heavyweights. The Timberwolves have the best defense in the league, and it showed as they held the Thunder to just 39.5% from the field.
Oh, get that out of there! I mean, get that weak stuff out of here, baby.
But the Wolves' turnovers left the door open for the Thunder.
There's the deflection by J-Dub. And OKC down by 2. Shea underneath, fading away over Towns. And this game is tied at 90.
How about that? Getting 28 points off turnovers.
And in clutch time, SGA did this.
Off on the 3 and the rebound. Karams right to SGA. As he surveys, wants the step back 3. And got the step back 3.
Talk about a big-time player, folks. And a big shot maker.
However, Anthony Edwards would get a chance to force OT.
Edwards to the three-point line with the tie on the line, and Dort commits the foul on the shot.
But when he got to the line, things didn't go as planned.
The first free throw is no good.
That changes everything.
Massive miss, and he misses the second. And everything has changed.
Yeah, this has to be an intentional miss.
Trying to miss it, didn't hit the rim, and this was going the other way. You see the frustration in the face of Anthony Edwards.
After the game, J-Dub let us know who he thinks is the MVP this season.
And we know what we're capable of.
The Wolves were favored by 3, but took a 5-point L instead. Zooming over to the state's capital, nothing made sense. In the second quarter, Sohan drew a foul. And then, can someone tell me what I'm watching here?
And the foul committed by Abdia will send Jeremy Sohan to the line.
Anyways, the Wizards were actually playing well.
You know what Diddy wants to do? He wants to run. Pass to Kispert! Technical foul called on the Washington Wizards bench. Corey Kispert.
And I don't agree with that. You cannot celebrate for your teammate.
What is this, the no-fun league?
Exactly. The no-fun police.
Until they collapsed in the fourth, letting the Spurs end the game on a 22-6 run.
Trey Jones on the pass from Victor for 2. Count the basket and the foul.
Wemby, who is still on a minutes restriction, took it upon himself to will his team to victory.
Oh, and there's the block. The block there on Tyus Jones.
A 180 no-look block to win the game. 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 blocks. He's unbelievable. The Wizards were favored by 2, but the Spurs took the W by 4 points. Meanwhile, in H-Town, things started out chippy.
Jasmine also have seen Holiday took the cookies and scored the ball, and then he and George were getting into it before the play, and then they get locked up with one another right after it.
While Jalen Green was busy pretending like he's a hustle player. Come on, bro. Everyone on earth knows you weren't gonna dive for that loose ball.
Grab the basketball.
You have to
come up with this play.
You can't stop short on that. You can't.
But ultimately, it was the Şengün show. Alperen dropped a career-high 37 points, while constantly putting the Jazz in a spin cycle.
And then put the ball into the rim. You know what? That play was so dirty, it was clean.
How about Şengün? He stole the tip. He read where it was going.
And spins on Fontecchio and dunks it down.
It just, leaves Utah in the dust.
In the end, it was Amen Thompson who won the game for the Rockets with his defense in overtime.
Get on Holiday, gets into his body, got there, there comes Thompson from the weak side to block it away.
The Rockets were favored by 2 and took it by just a point in a nail-biting finish. Chapter 2, Sunday night, the Lakers' little brother. As the sun set on the weekend, the valley was heating up even though it was raining in Phoenix. Halliburton was out with his hamstring, and the Phoenix broadcast was low-key clowning him for his bright raincoat jacket.
Raincoat?
Well, it was raining at Phoenix today. He came prepared.
Oh, okay. If I was driving down the street, I would stop.
And ask him where he got it.
No, I would stop and say, am I in the school zone?
Pascal tried to put the clamps on KD, but Easy Money Sniper decided to show him that there are levels to this ish, going off for 40 points without hitting the charity stripe not even once, a first in Suns franchise history.
KD with a turnaround.
This is too easy.
The Suns' big three is also starting to click. Them boys collectively notched 91 points as a trio, while the rest of the team only scored 26 points. I mean, how do you even stop this offense considering the weapons they have and the impeccable spacing?
Extra pass. Book on the kick. Durant with the shot. Bucket. Phoenix back in front. He's got a 40-piece.
This win extended the Suns' winning streak to 5 in a row. But in Crypto.com Arena, 39-year-old LeBron was busy doing gymnastics on the basketball court.
Maybe expand is LeBron! Down the middle! Does a handstand nearly as he tumbles.
D'Lo went off for 34 points and 8 rebounds, while treating the whole thing like an early All-Star game.
Wood, and a good outlet goes to Russell! Now you see it, now you know.
The Lakers were favored by 11.5 and won by 24 points against the second worst team in the West. Meanwhile, the Lakers' little brother was facing the Nets on the same night. Cam Johnson was a victim of the laws of physics, as the claw dropped him in transition.
Down the lane, down the hatch! Back-to-back dunks for Kawhi Leonard.
The Nets were up by 18 at one point, but in the final 5 minutes of the fourth, Kawhi went nuclear, scoring 14 points and leading the Clippers on a 22-0 run to end the game.
Kawhi for three. Hot damn! 120, 114, a minute to play.
The Nets, who looked unstoppable for 3 quarters, had a mental lapse in the final quarter and managed to somehow snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. However, at Capital One Arena, Jokic's passing reached another dimension.
Oh, no looky pass to Aaron Gordon, who puts it away.
His level of mastery over the game is absolutely unfair. Just ask Daniel Gafford, who learned this the hard way.
And basket counts foul.
It's just poetry in motion.
Unguardable is an understatement. The Nuggets walked in as favorites and walked away as, you guessed it, favorites, extending the Wizards' losing streak to 4. But in Space City, Jaylen Brown attempted his best Ant-Man and Embiid impression. But let's just say it didn't quite work out as planned.
Out in Milwaukee, and again, Boston won that game easily, and he tried to pull an Anthony Edwards.
Meanwhile, Derek White turned into a rim-protecting superhero from 70 feet away.
And then he blocked Şengün on the 75-foot heave.
Brown and Şengün both notched their 3rd career triple-doubles on the same night. But the short-handed Rockets fell short. Led by Porzingis dropping 32, the Celtics, favored by 11.5, beat their previous head coach's squad by 9 points again. Business as usual. Chapter 3. Monday night. Kobe Bryant never dies. Monday night in the association marked the anniversary of Kobe dropping that legendary 81-point bomb, and we witnessed insane homages to the Mamba's ever-living legend. But first, the NBA suffered a tragic loss to one of the most revered assistant coaches in the entire association, Dejan Milojevic of the Golden State Warriors, who passed away of a heart attack at a private dinner. The NBA postponed multiple Warriors games. And back home in Serbia, Dejan received a tribute that gave us all chills. Rest in peace, King. Back on U.S. soil in Phoenix, the Slim Reaper had the court on fire. Right after posing the question of why he is not in the GOAT conversation, Durant decided to put an exclamation mark on the discussion with a mid-air double clutch dagger to win the game.
Nice Durant raising up for the win.
KD dropped 43 points, making him the 4th oldest player in NBA history to go back-to-back with 40-point games. The Suns' threesome combined for 77 points, leading the team to their 6th straight win. Meanwhile, the city of brotherly love turned into an arena of madness. Embiid, before the game, was sizing up Wemby, and this was his reaction to the young Titan's impossible height.
Man, I'm gonna say a prayer to the gods and hope it works out for the best.
I mean, imagine being 7 feet and still feeling dwarfed. It's wild. Even Kelly Oubre got in on the action, doing some height investigation of his own.
Kelly just checking where he lines up.
But the game belonged to Embiid, who put on an absolute clinic. This game was more than a regular game. For the process, this game was his tribute to Kobe.
Field goal percentage, Joel Embiid is good at basketball. He finds it and dunks it down.
The Spurs threw everything at him, but Embiid was in that zone that Kobe often spoke of. That zone where everything slows down. Everything becomes one noise. Nothing else matters. It's just you, the ball, and the hoop. The most points ever scored by a Sixer in a game was 68 when Wilt did it in 1967. But on this night, Embiid eclipsed the Big Dipper with his 70-piece. Even KD was in shock when he heard the news.
Yeah, 70?
So what did nights like tonight mean in the NBA?
Shit.
But it wasn't just Embiid who broke the scoreboard. Karl Anthony Towns had his inner Black Mamba activated too in Minnesota. Special K was hitting threes like he was shooting layups, setting a career high and franchise record with a 62-piece masterclass.
Oh, he's firing from Duluth! Towns has the last 10 for Minnesota.
The Wolves, however, lost the game. And there were some blown calls on both ends late in the game.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Come on!
Anderson absolutely ripped the left arm away from LaMelo Ball.
The Wolves, though, couldn't blame the Zebras entirely. They forced it too much in the fourth, like they were trying to make Anthony Towns drop 100.
It's just hard to watch. I mean, you got to move the ball. Everybody's trying to play hero ball. Ant is trying to make it happen.
Self-sabotage is the worst kind of sabotage. Embiid and Towns marked the first time in 45 years that we saw two 60-point performances on the same day. However, in Dallas, the Celtics were bringing the heat. Jaylen Brown pulled off an ankle breaker that sent Luka back to 1999.
Look at JB. He dropped Doncic. Highlight reel stuff from Jaylen Brown.
Even Luka had to give him props after the game.
I saw that video. I can't lie, that was really nice.
Meanwhile, Tatum swatted away Grant Williams' half-court attempt in the most cold-blooded way possible.
That was big brother on little brother, man. Get that out of here.
Oh, Batman just got. And JT with some words for his former teammate.
Luka's 33-point triple-double was impressive, but it wasn't enough against the Celtics duo. Brown and Tatum combined for 73 points, leading the Celtics, who were favored by 2.5 to a 9-point victory. Mamba, this night belonged to you. Chapter 4. Tuesday night. Doc returns. Tuesday night in the NBA delivered more than just wins and losses. First off, we got hit with 2 bombs. The Miami Heat decided to ship Kyle Lowry and a future first to the Hornets in exchange for Terry Rozier, while out of the blue, the Bucks hit Adrian Griffin with the pink slip. Word on the street was that Giannis had lost faith in Coach's ability to coach, so they fired him. But the replacement they chose was laughable. Doc Rivers, the man with the most blown 3-1 leads in NBA history. The man who has also lost the most Game 7s ever in league history? Yeah, good luck with that, Milwaukee. However, at Barclays Center, we had a battle of the boroughs, except it was painfully clear who really rules New York. The Nets were at home, but when Bridges went to the line, the boos and cheers said it all.
It is rare that you shoot free throws at home and hear that kind of reaction on a miss.
That is for sure.
Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson put on an absolute clinic, dropping a combined 60 points.
Randle, no hesitation. He buries the triple.
Knocks down a 3 to give the Knicks a lead.
This win pushed the Knicks record to 10-2 in the OG Anunoby era. Like Coach Tibbs said, OG is a defense unto himself. But on this night, we saw 2 coaches get ejected from the game. The first was Chauncey Billups, who went irate when his player got called for a double dribble, despite Coach screaming for a timeout on the sideline.
And he's still out on the floor. And that's going to be a double technical. And he's headed to the showers.
I hear you Blazers fans. Trust me, I hear you. And to add more salt to the wound, J-Dub had to go and hit the game winner on you.
Veers left, pulls up, looking for the lead, and got it! Jalen Williams!
That's a tough way to lose, especially given how well Portland played against a really good team. But like I said, we had 2 head coaches that got ejected. Over in Indianapolis, Rick Carlisle was done being diplomatic.
Rick Carlisle has gotten 1, he's gotten 2.
And to add more salt to that wound, Jamal and KCP casually played rock, paper, scissors to decide who would take the technical free throws. Tough. However, in the City of Angels, the two LA teams faced off. Russ was busy doing Russ things.
Had his shoe pop off. Finally passes it. Now he's going shoeless. It's shoeless Russell Westbrook. Go ahead, Russ. Who needs shoes?
Imagine if he decides to start going shoeless from now on. Clearly it works for Mr. Beastbrook. The NBA might not be ready for that madness just yet though. LeBron was out with left ankle pain and Kawhi feasted, recording his second triple-double as a Clipper with 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists.
Leonard shakes everybody. He lost all of the Lakers. Scores again.
The Clippers were favored by 9.5, and they cruised past the LeBron-less Lakers by 11 points. But the night ended in the Big Easy, where we witnessed the resurrection of Duke Zion.
Dice on the floor. The lob. Baby! That was serious enough.
The Pelicans broke their franchise record for points in a single game with a whopping 153 points by the end of the game. Zion dished out a career-high 11 assists, and McCollum led the charge with 33 points.
CJ shooting that thing today, boy. He's got the triple. He's shooting that thing today. Going to the line, looking for the 4-point play.
The Pelicans were favored by 6.5, but they straight up demolished the Jazz, winning by a staggering 29 points. Chapter 5, Wednesday night. Booker's revenge. On Hump Day, we saw parties, instigators, and brewing rivalries. It began in San Antonio, where we had a battle for Rookie of the Year, as Chet and Wemby went at it like two giraffes fighting to the death. It's clear as day that these two rookies don't have much love for each other. First, Chet hit a 3 in Wemby's face, and in retaliation, Wemby put him in the weight room.
Wemby tries to counter and does with a 2-point dunk. Yes, he did. Just bullied his way to the basket. If you could say Victor bullied his way. Yes.
The two Rookie of the Year contenders had an entertaining battle, setting the stage for a rivalry we will enjoy for years and years to come. Wembanyama is a baby apex predator. You can just see it.
Wemby swallowed it. He consumed it. He engulfed that shot.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have a team as good as Chet. OKC was favored by 9, but annihilated the Spurs by 26 points. Meanwhile, in Motor City, the underdog of underdogs pulled off a gritty win. The Pistons, grinding hard, snagged their 5th W of the season. These days, it's rare for them to taste the sweet nectar of victory. Jalen Duren sealed the deal with this dagger dunk that had the crowd buzzing.
Gives it up, gets it back, drives, dishes in front to Jalen Duren for a jam. The crowd's on its feet. The Pistons are up 4.
Funny enough, the Hornets beat the Timberwolves and Celtics, but lost to the Pistons twice. The Hornets are the Robin Hood of the NBA, a perfect definition of take from the rich and gift to the poor. The Pistons were favored by 2.5, and they walked away with a 7-point win. While the Bucks were busy partying on the court post-Griffin's firing, the Warriors returned to action at Chase Center. Emotions ran high as they were still mourning the loss of Coach Decky.
Rather than a moment of silence, I'd like for all of us to give Decky an ovation that he can hear up in heaven. Thank you.
But on the court, they had to push through. Steph came back threading needles.
Kuminga from Curry.
Did you see how hyped Steph was? Again, it's him crossing paths with Clay.
While Kuminga had a monster game, putting up 25 points on a perfect 11 of 11 from the field.
Jackson Davis playing with Kuminga. They kind of cleared the lane. Look at
JK, show and go.
Clay heard the Splash Cousin slander and stepped up with his own 24 points to help the 6.5 favored Warriors to a comfortable win by 22 points against the undermanned Hawks. However, over in Dallas, the Suns kept the flames burning hot. Grant Williams, the self-proclaimed funniest instigator in the NBA, tried to stir the pot.
Well, now we got Williams standing over the top of Kevin Durant, and Williams and KD.
Nurkic knocked him out of the way.
Well, Williams was standing over the top of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and the refs didn't do anything about it.
But every time he attempts to be annoying, it backfires on him. Williams got a taste of his own medicine and got ejected for the second tech. Payback's a you-know-what.
He just got tossed. He had one in the first quarter, so second one, and he's out. Kevin Durant chatting with the fans. Big smile. As Williams is done.
After having a fan constantly swear at him during the whole first half, Luka had had enough and took matters into his own hands, getting the heckler tossed out of the arena.
So I never would have jacked a fan. They pay for tickets, but I had enough, you know. It's a little bit of frustration. Be the bad guy in the media, right?
But Luka's nemesis, Devin Booker, was loving it as he exploded for 22 points in the third before having some fun on the bench. The Suns, favored by 2, cruised to victory, demolishing the Mavericks by 22 points while recording their 7th straight win. Chapter 6, Thursday night. Stars amongst stars. Amidst the roaring crowds and electrifying plays, Thursday night in the NBA saw the birth of a new star. Before that, though, we got to see this year's all-star starters for both the East and West Conference. Here's hoping for a better all-star experience than the last couple of years' disappointments. In the Big Apple, we saw more of the OG effect. Since his migration from the Raptors, Anunoby has become a bona fide fan favorite, electrifying the Knicks faithful with his hustle.
Another steal by Anunoby. And the slam.
Always around the ball. Yet again, showing his stuff.
And Knicks fans aren't afraid to display their appreciation of the man.
As Anunoby receives an ovation, with your purchase. Scan the QR code or head to Knicks.com/kicks.
The former Raptor dropped 26 points and snatched 6 steals, on his way to helping the Knicks give the Nuggets a taste of defeat unlike any they have had under Jokic, a 38-point Nuggets loss, a straight-up annihilation. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, we had an absolute thriller. The Warriors faced off against the Kings, and Harrison Barnes decided to steal the show. The Black Falcon dropped a monstrous 39 points, including 7 threes, against his former squad.
Harrison Barnes 3, and he's got 35. One off the best game of his entire career.
On the other end, Kuminga was doing his level best to keep the Warriors' hopes alive with a stellar 31-point showing.
As hot as he's been. Down 3. Steph lob.
But in the final moments of the game, it was a battle of who could have the bigger blunder in the clutch.
And it's Thompson with a rebound. They push it. Curry's got it. Clock ticks to 3, to 2. He lost it into the hands of Fox. And that's it.
Every Kings-Warriors game this season has been a nail-biter, decided by just 1 point. Sacramento was favored by 1 and won by exactly 1 point. Chapter 7, Friday night. Luka Magic. In a night that won't soon be forgotten, we saw some ridiculous feats of athletic genius. First, we saw the Wemby block reach another stratosphere of disrespect.
And there is Victor Wembanyama. Oh, mama! Destroyed it.
Before getting assaulted on the other end.
Wemby draws the crowd. The turnaround. Good! Send it to the line.
We also saw Brandon Miller deciding to give Dylan Brooks some impromptu dancing lessons.
By the Hornets rookie, the number 2 overall pick, Brandon Miller.
But of all the amazing performances we saw, only 2 shined above the rest. The arch rivals, Luka Doncic and Devin Booker, turned the basketball world upside down with their scoring talent. But the outcomes would be polar opposites. First up, in Indianapolis, while Obi Toppin was busy giving us a taste of what's to come in the All-Star Dunk Contest this year.
I mean, that's a dunk contest dunk in a game.
It is an all-star dunk contest kind of deal.
It was Devin Booker who was on a mission as he dropped 62 points on the night of Kobe's passing. It was an amazing performance.
Booker crosses him up on the drive inside. Got it. Give him the 50-piece.
But in the final seconds of the game, he had a chance to win the game at the buzzer. But whoops.
Oh, he fell.
Booker fell. His shot is away. No good. The Pacers have come back to win.
This loss snapped the Suns' 7-game winning streak. Here's a wild stat for you. The Suns have never won when Booker scores 58 points or more. However, while that performance ended in a loss in Atlanta, Luka was on his own mission to dismantle the team that traded him at the 2018 draft.
Design these defenses and this guy destroys them!
Luka Magic came out like a man possessed, and he was systematically tormenting the Hawks, reminding them just how royally they botched that draft.
Here's the step back for a new Maverick record! They are seeing a night they will never forget, that we will never forget.
El Matador scored a franchise record 73 points, tying for the 4th highest scoring game in NBA history. This was the most efficient 70-piece ever, with a mind-blowing 91% true shooting percentage. Pure madness. If you end up enjoying this video, please subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind. Anyways, wherever you are in the world, be the GOAT of that moment. Stay GOATed.